Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, your home for discussions and debates about all things animation. Each week, we'll rank, review, and revel in animated shows from yesterday and today, and from around the world. So grab your Acme slingshot, set your mobile suit to autopilot, and put on your mouse ears. The Animation Station Podcast begins now.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Animation Station Podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Gavin.
And we have a special treat for you today. We're with the creators of the animated short film In a Heartbeat.
Welcome aboard, guys. We're so happy to have you.
Hi.
We have Esteban and Beth. How are you guys today?
Good. Yeah,
We're good. Yeah, doing great.
really excited.
Awesome. We're so pleased that you guys were able to come on with us. You know, we caught wind of, this short that you guys created on social media. I think Josh first found it on Tumblr.
Found it on Tumblr.
And immediately we were like, ooh, we have to see this. We were so excited from the moment
it really it really broke my heart just a little bit, because I went and saw that there was a Kickstarter. I was like, oh sweet, there's a Kickstarter, and it ended in December, and I was like, oh
yeah, we missed out on that.
I just missed it.
we would have contributed, but we were too late.
Thanks.
Yeah, we've a lot of people have told us about, like, they wish they knew about the Kickstarter before, but yeah.
Yeah, we were a bit crestfallen, but we were happy to see that you guys made it. So to start off, why don't you guys tell our audience a little bit about yourselves? Like, who are you?
Okay. Go ahead, Esteban.
Well, I'm Esteban. I come from Mexico City. I was born and raised there. I don't know how in detail should I go about telling about
As much as you want.
However much you want to go into detail. If you want to start off, what you did in second grade, you can start off with what you did in second grade.
Well, that might be a long story, but I mean, I was kind of like the artist in my family, just because I'm a triplet, and I have a brother and a sister, both my age, and I was kind of like the artistic one. So eventually, I didn't actually know that I was going to study anything like in art. It wasn't until I actually, someone was like, okay, you got to make a decision on what you're going to do a career on, that I came to terms with that, just because I had lots of different interests. I started actually an animation program in Mexico, but then I didn't really like it, and then I dropped out after a semester, and I decided to go to Ringling, just because you come out making a short film, and that was always a really appealing idea, just because that's very, very unheard of, and you make it all yourself. So that's how I ended up in Ringling.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. The Beth?
Yeah. Hi. I'm Beth. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I have 4 brothers, and I'm the only girl in my family, and so that was a really fun way to grow up. Yeah, they're all really into video games and sports and computers and all that kind of cool stuff. But I was the artsy kid in my family too. Yeah, so I always really enjoyed drawing and cartoons and stuff, and I knew that I definitely wanted to go into art as a little kid. I didn't really know that animation was the path I would end up taking. I was thinking more comics was kind of my thing, but I definitely really love filmmaking and drawing and everything like that, and so it was a really nice path to follow. And yeah, and I wound up at Ringling, made a short film, and now I'm here. Yeah.
Nice.
Good time.
Nice. So since you guys come from 2 very different places, I assume you met at Ringling. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We met our freshman year there.
Okay. So did you guys just become friends and decide to work on this project together, or were you assigned to each other? How did that kind of come about?
Yeah, we were friends basically the whole time that we were in school. And then junior year, you kind of you decide whether you want to do a solo film or if you want to team up with people. And we decided to try to team up together, and we just sort of found out that we have really similar taste as far as like filmmaking style and like artistic style and storytelling and that kind of thing. So it wound up working out really well.
Nice.
So what are some of your like animation influences?
As in works or like animators?
Just like
Either
general,
one.
like both works,
Yeah.
animation, like animated, works.
Well, for me, I always grew up I looked forward always to watching Saturday and Sunday morning kind of like cartoons in which like the Looney Tunes would be playing. So I really love those, and I think a lot of my animation style is based or at least like it has a lot of influence on that, because it's like a lot of like timing and the musicality of it, and also the lack of dialogue in a lot of them. And that's actually something that Beth and I had like agreed on from the very beginning, that we didn't want to tell a story with dialogue. That was one of like the things that we kind of like resonated to. And between other things, I did also like grow up watching like Disney films. I loved, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, and yeah, Pixar films, of course, The Incredibles. Yeah, that's pretty much how I grew up.
Nice. We just wrapped up our Incredibles episode, which comes out on Monday. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So Beth, what about you? What influences you animation wise?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty similar story. Like I would watch cartoons all the time as a kid. I really loved like the shows that were on Disney Channel, like Kim Possible and like Proud Family. Like I loved those shows. Yeah, and like there were a lot of like Warner Brothers cartoons that I really enjoyed. Like Cats Don't Dance was like my favorite movie when I was a kid. I was like obsessed with that. Yeah, that was a good one.
That's great.
And
we also just did a Cats Don't Dance episode earlier.
yeah, that's awesome.
Very
I
nice.
love that movie. Yeah, so like just like really like cartoony kind of animation was like something I really loved, and then like filmmaking and everything. Like I loved like Brad Bird's films, so like The Incredibles and like Iron Giant was a huge fave. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So you guys met at college, you're in animation. Like how did the idea for this short film spark? Like what was the genesis of this short film that you guys created?
Well, we actually, the idea of someone's heart popping out of the chest came from a friend of ours. Her name is Hannah Lee. Well, initially, actually, it was between a boy and a girl. It was a boy whose heart popped out of his chest. But actually, I didn't want to do a love story. I knew, like, going into Ringling that I didn't want to do a love story. And I ended up making one. But the reason why I decided to, it was because when we decided to change it to same-sex love, that resonated with me, and I completely believed in that story from the very beginning and really wanted to tell that story. So that's why we decided on taking that route. And she let us, gave us the permission to run with the idea, and that's how it ended up being. Well, that was the beginning of it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, and definitely like getting to work on a story that focused on like a crush between like same gender and everything, like like that we felt was like a like kind of thing that we wish we could have like seen when we were younger, and that we think like had the potential to be like meaningful to other people as well. Yeah, so we just really like that, like we had kind of like a nice window to work with that would like let us use this subject in like a way that was really like innocent and sweet and lighthearted, and like that it could potentially like be something that was important to us. So
I think of it sometimes also as what it would be, sort of a letter to our younger selves. And and also because that's kind of what we wish we had growing up. So that's something we always, I think, kept in mind and what kept us going while making the film.
Awesome. So without any sort of like major spoilers or anything, can you tell us a little bit about our two main characters, Johnathan and Sherwin?
So Sherwin is just your standard awkward, super goofy little kid who he's like just sort of coming into himself, and like, you know, he doesn't really like feel comfortable with like anything about himself. He feels like awkward all the time and everything. But he, you know, he's a passionate little kid. He's about, I think they're like 13 or 14 years old. So they're at that age where, you know, you start having crushes that are like the most important and most awful, horrible thing you can go through, kind of a thing. So yeah, he's just like, a really shy kid. And Johnathan is just cool guy, like coolest kid in school, super sleek, super smooth, good at everything, smart. Yeah, just the kind
Loves
of kid
apples.
that loves apples, loves reading. Yeah.
That's a character.
That is excellent.
Important.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys have planned for the film? I think, you know, I understand that you guys are trying to get it into film festivals and things like that. Like, what is kind of the outlook for this short film? Like, what exposure is it going to get? You know, ultimately, how can we see this film?
You mean like when it's going to come out, or what plans do we have for it after it comes out?
Yeah, both. Like, what kind of is the future for this short film right now?
Well, we were actually planning on releasing it during June, and that we ended up extending the release date. We never like set it down a date in stone, just because we did submit like the film is already done. We like submitted to like a bunch of festivals, and then we've just like been advised from different people to wait off a little bit on releasing it, just because some festivals might not want to play the short or select the short for the festival if it's already available online for all to see. So we just like want to make sure that it does not hinder its run through the festival circuit. We do want to try to like release it as soon as possible, but we haven't like set down a date. So that's something that we're currently working on right now. Beth, you want to say about like future plans and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, like, we haven't talked too in depth about like what to do with the characters, or like if the project will become anything bigger, but that's definitely something that we really are interested in. Like, we loved working on this film, and we know that like the film is 4 minutes and 6 seconds long. And people have told us many times that they wish it was longer, and we're like, yeah, so do we. But so, you know, like the idea of like making it something else, even if it's just like a slightly longer short film, like we like that idea. But like, yeah, there's no like real plan to actually put that into action right now, but it's something that we hope we can like keep talking about and everything in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what if let's fast forward. The film maybe has some success at some festivals. The release is successful, and a major studio or a television studio comes to you and says, "Hey, we'd like to work this into a feature film or even an ongoing series." Like, is that something you guys would jump on, or would you be a little more protective of it and want to kind of, you know, do your own thing with it? How do you guys feel about the possibilities of those types of opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, that would be like crazy awesome if someone approached us like that. I think like we've talked about that, and like we do think like it's important that we do have some like creative say in it and everything. And it would be like important to us that we know that the film and like the subject of the film would be like handled really gracefully and everything, and that like it wouldn't compromise it in like making it too goofy or even making it like too overdramatic or like anything like that. Like, yeah, that it would be handled in a way that sort of like justifies the subject matter and everything.
Yeah, we wanted, especially just like the tone that we set for the film. There are some like, I guess, guidelines that we set for ourselves that we didn't want, for example, for the short to be preachy at the very and like there's not much like opportunity for that in our film. Of course, like the subject matter is there, but there is never even like dialogue for other characters to kind of say anything about like the subject. We kind of just really wanted to present what it was growing up for us being LGBT. So and that was what it was important for us. So I guess staying attached to the project would be a cool idea, but we really think that no one can tell an LGBT story better than someone who has actually experienced it. So we would look for an opportunity that would stay true to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Now, for the main story of this, like, what's the message that you guys want to convey with the story?
I mean, mostly it's just that, this happens and that it's a normal thing that people go through. Because, like, the short itself really is, like, a pretty, like, straightforward kind of crush story. It just has, like, an added layer due to the fact that he has a crush on another boy. But, like, we mostly just wanted to make something that, like, allowed people to feel, like, I guess, affirmation in a way that, like, what they're feeling is, like, it happens and it's totally normal and it's, like, really common and everything, too. That, yeah, it's mostly just that, yeah, this is normal and that, yeah, there's no, like, crazy preachy thing going on underneath it. It's just, this happens.
Yeah, we wanted.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it comes across so positive and, like you said, not preachy. That I hope it has a positive influence, in the world of animation, because, there's a lack of that message, in animated things. And, we were just so tickled by it when we first saw it that we were just excited. And I think it comes across in the short little trailer that you guys have provided. And, if the rest of the film is like that, man, I just think it's a great positive force that I hope has influence.
Yeah, I think it was important for us to be able to say with this message just basically it's okay. And also, and because that is mostly like for the audience that would be able to identify themselves with, like, directly, I still feel like other people can identify themselves with that, because, just because you have a crush doesn't mean that you don't want to, like, hide it. I think also one of the things or messages that we wanted to put out there and for people to understand is for non-LGBT or just, members of society to understand that and to have a better, I guess, understanding of what it is like growing up like that. That it's something that can't be helped, I think, because the heart pops out of his chest and it's like dragging the boy towards like the other boy, and the other, like, Sherwin can't even like help that. So yeah, we just want to show it as I think it's a metaphor of what it is, like the heart actually not being able to contain that and to make it move in the direction that you want to, and kind of accepting that and telling people that it's okay.
Nice, and I like that we're slowly starting to get there too. I mean, it's finally starting to where you can have same-sex couples in animation now. Like we had it in we had it briefly in what's that Leica film?
Oh, Paranorman.
Paranorman. We had it a little bit in Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Storks. So it's nice that we're getting
seeing flashes of it.
Yeah, flashes of it. But hey, 10 years ago we wouldn't have had anything.
Right. Right.
So it's nice that these are starting to come out.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. It's like small progress, and we're definitely hoping that something will jumpstart a little bit bigger progress. But yeah, I mean, it is really great to see like same-sex couples just existing in animated films and animated TV shows.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So what are you guys up to now? This film's kind of complete. What projects are you guys working on currently?
Well,
go ahead.
I am currently Blue Sky Studios, and I'm gonna be working here, as an animation intern, and then I'm gonna start a story trainee program. So my plan right now is just like sticking at Blue Sky and hopefully get hired for a full-time position later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm at Jib Jab Studios. I'm working on a TV show called Storybots. It's really cute. And then in the fall, I'm planning to head up to Sony for a bit to work with them as an animator. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Exciting. That's great. I have a side question kind of off topic for Esteban. So being from Mexico, I'm wondering if you can tell us like what animation industry, if any, really exists in Mexico, because I don't think either of us are aware of, you know, things that are coming out of Mexico that are animated. Is there an output coming from Mexico right now?
Yeah, I mean, there are some studios around. I know that they kind of struggle in the financial aspect. There is a film, I think, that was premiered at Annecy that's called Ana y Bruno, which is about, I think, a little like goblin and a girl in this kind of like mental hospital. I think one of the reasons why they struggled also like with finance is because it's a kind of a different sort of theme that you would see in animated films. And I talked with the directors once, and that's what they wanted to, they didn't want to do a children's film. They just like wanted to do kind of like a more macabre sort of animated film. And I know a lot of like studios were involved in that, and there's Anime Studio. I think that's one of like the biggest ones in Mexico. They came out with one within the world of Oz. That was They also do a lot of 2D kind of flash animation, but yeah, the output is not as great as I wish it were. And the industry, it is there, and there are like a lot of like college programs, but I think it still has definitely ways to go.
Yeah, we're always keeping our eye out for international animation. We obviously get a lot, obviously, from Japan and some things from Europe, but I'd love to see more things from Mexico and South America, places like that, because they bring in different themes, and you know they tend to approach things from a different, you know, worldview and perspective, so it just gives a little variety to the landscape, and I'm always on the lookout for new things from international animation.
Yeah, for sure. I do hope that the industry does flourish a little bit more. I think it's just, like I said, the finance, and it's not really like well known, I guess, because I, growing up, didn't know that, as well as other people that I've talked to, like in the US, but like being an animator was something that was completely out of my, like I didn't even dream of it before. Yeah, it's unheard of. Actually, there's no one in my family who really is in the artistic field. So I guess that's one of the reasons why it took me a while to like realize that animation was the path that I wanted to go in, and then I wanted to try out things in Mexico. But yeah, I think there's a lot of still more artistic development that needs to happen in Mexico.
All right, you want to?
I'm sorry. I was waiting on Gavin. I'm sorry.
You were looking at. I thought you had a question.
Jeez.
This is a part that Josh will edit out.
Nah, we'll cut it. It'll be fun.
It'll be on the blooper reel and the bonus features.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming on. It was a really fun interview.
Yeah. We had a great time. Thank you.
Really cool.
Now, where can everybody find you guys, like social media wise?
We have a Facebook page, Facebook.com/In a Heartbeat 2017, and we have a Tumblr blog for the film. That's inaheartbeat-film.tumblr.com, and both of us have Instagrams. I think it's just both of our names, like Beth David and Esteban Bravo. We're both on Instagram.
Yeah. I think there's like slight variations of our names, but
Yeah, but you'll find us eventually.
Yeah, you guys were really easy to find on Instagram, so
That's
I
good.
think if our audience just types in your names, they'll
Yeah,
get you.
and we'll put everything in the links too.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, we are big fans of you guys already. I think you guys are going to have awesome careers, and I'm looking forward to see what else, you guys have in store for us. But, whenever you guys announce the release date of In a Heartbeat, we will definitely be letting our audience know so that they can all partake in that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for chatting with us today.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
thank you so much. And we'll be looking forward also to the Incredibles podcast that will be.
Yeah, definitely.
all right.
When is
so
that?
for
Yeah.
the end. Now, got a quick question. I saw that you guys have there's a Redbubble that's for In a Heartbeat. Is that like an official one for you guys?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our Redbubble for like shop stuff. Like we've got a T-shirt on there. There's some posters, prints, stickers, like that kind of stuff. And we'll hopefully be adding things to it. Like we want to make some more because it's fun. And yeah, but yeah, that is our shop.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay.
Go
I
get
wanted to
some
make sure
merch,
that I was
everybody.
actually supporting you guys and not like supporting some other person.
Right.
No, yeah,
Thanks for bringing
That's
it
awesome.
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Gavin, where can everybody find you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Gavin Otteson Art.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. You can find the podcast on Instagram at,
Animation Station Podcast.
on Twitter,
At Animate Podcast.
on our website.
AnimationStationPodcast.com.
You can also check us out on,
iTunes.
and
Stitcher.
we've worked so hard on
That's
that.
our first time we've done that right.
It finally worked.
Beautiful.
Nice.
10 out of 10.
All right, guys. Again, thanks so much for coming on. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It was good talking.
All right. So for the Animation Station podcast, I'm Josh.
I'm Gavin.
Oh, I'm Beth.
And I'm
Yes, nice.
Don't worry about it. It was like 45 seconds one time, so it's totally fine.
Yeah, you guys are well under average.
yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Animate Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And join the conversation at SecretSuperheroClub.com, where you can connect with our podcast friends, Cloud City Cast, Getting Into Comics, and Shaun of the Gathering.